So to NFL schedules, that's going to get released tonight. As of this recording, it's 8:50.
Your favorite?
It's my favorite thing in the world. I absolutely love schedules. It's like what is it? The what was the movie where the guy shows up with the phone books? He's like the jerk. The phone books are here. The phone books are. The schedule is here. Although I feel like the schedule release is no longer just one big event. It gets teased. There's spoilers. I get tweets from Adam Schefter. I see team reporters breaking out sources. Here's what's going on. The NFL itself is spoiling its own schedule release. And shout out to the Carolina Panthers, who are actually having a schedule release party with live music and everything else from 7 to 9 tonight outside Bank of America Stadium. So the question is going to be, how many primetime games are the Carolina Panthers going to get? You got to remember that these things all have a formula. We know who the Panthers are going to play. Did I say the Hurricanes? I know who the Panthers are going to play. They play the NFC North, they play the AFC South, and they have that AFC East game, which will be the Miami Dolphins. So the Panthers are going to be going to Florida 3 times this year. You got Tampa Bay in the division. You've got the Jaguars with the AFC South matchup, and then they're going to be playing the Miami Dolphins at some point this season. But with the overall number 1 pick in the draft, Joe, all eyes are going to be in how many primetime games can the Panthers show up on. And the interesting wrinkle this year, which is going to really piss off some folks, that Sunday to Thursday turnaround, which only used to happen once, is now happening twice because Roger Goodell's got to make TV partners happy.
All right, let's play the hits here, Joe. All the NFL has to do is add a second open date to its schedule. There will be no short turnaround for any team. And your Super Bowl will be moved back 1 week, which scratches head, checks calendar, looks at notes. Oh my God, it's a national holiday the next day. And yes, before you start firing things off in the comment section, I realize not everyone has off on President's Day. Yeah. But you know who does? Your kids. And that's what's important. You don't have to wake your ass up the next morning after a Super Bowl party, and drive your kids to school. So NFL, pretty please, with sugar on top. Not for me, because let's be serious here for a second. This is about player safety. And I know they claim they have data that the short turnaround does not affect injuries. They say injuries are flat. Yeah, I would love for you to explain to me how Tua Tagovailoa almost died on primetime television after getting a second concussion in a matter of 4 days. But no, I guess that's not part of the data. I guess we don't really care about that because, Joe, he was just in the fencer's pose and everybody was, terrified on live television. But since he didn't die, okay, let's add some more short turnaround games because that's really what we need.
That's the basis of every NFL decision at this point in time. It's kind of like it's like in The Hangover, right? Where Ken Jeong's character is like, "But did you die? Oh, you didn't? Cool. We can just go ahead and move things on." Right. I mean, the same thing happened with Damar Hamlin. We're not looking at the measures in which Damar Hamlin ultimately got saved. It was really about, can we continue playing or not? I mean, that he's alive is amazing, and really a testament to the first responders that he's come back. But let's not make that like, oh, so we're all good. But
it's okay.
I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take the NFL's word when it comes to injuries, that essentially they're flat Sunday to Thursday. But this kind of ties back to something Mark Cuban, Dallas Mavericks owner, talked about years ago, where he talked about pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered, et cetera, and that the NFL is going to get too greedy. And that's what this schedule really is about. I'll be honest, like for the first time in a long time, I'm legitimately interested in the logistics of the NFL schedule, not from I got to plan my fall and winter. It's more along the lines of, how does the NFL maximize its dollar value? Because that's their number one goal, to maximize their money in an era where everything is being retracted, okay? Where you're seeing regional networks file for bankruptcy, where you're seeing ESPN numbers drop over time. But there's still one thing on the market that can guarantee live eyeballs, and that's the NFL, and they're trying to maximize it the best way they can. But they also have to make their partners happy, which is why you're seeing these Sunday, Thursday turnarounds. and more marquee matchups on a Thursday night because Amazon paid a hell of a lot of money to broadcast those games exclusively. You also have NBC, CBS, and Fox paying a lot of money. Interesting wrinkle for the season. They're not going to have the traditional CBS, AFC, Fox, NFC, and of course, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Footballs, Monday Night Football. While Mike Mulvihill, who works for Fox, pointed out there are still a minimum requirement for appearances, you are not going to traditionally see your typical NFC and AFC matchups on your respective networks this upcoming season. Again, that is to make the networks happy in the long run. The one thing these Thursday night, Sunday night things do is that it does affect the competitive balance. Fine, I'm going to grant you injuries. Cool. However, you can't sit here and tell me that a team that played Sunday and has to turn around and play on Thursday isn't a competitive disadvantage. And that's going to matter in what do we know about the NFL, man? It's the first 3-4 weeks in the season, and people are already freaking out about playoff implications. And now you're adding that wrinkle to parity, and good teams are going to find themselves up against it because of this turnaround, because the teams that are good, the teams that people want to see, are going to be the ones that have to deal with this Sunday, Thursday turnaround more than the bad teams.
Yeah, the biggest one to me, Joe, the biggest thing that stood out of all the things that have been leaked, the NFL, to the Mark Cuban point, creeping into that Friday game. The Black Friday game in November, I believe, will be the first Friday regular season NFL game in however, that's not a Christmas or a Christmas Eve, in however long. And that's just a trial balloon to see if they can get into that night.
Are you... I want to get back to the leaking, or not the leaking of the schedules. Are you a spoiler guy? Like, do you get caught up in trying to stay spoiler free?
I do not like spoilers. I'm the worst when it comes to this, though. Let's use Game of Thrones as an example in the last show that I really, 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 really cared about. Okay?
Sure.
I was the one who would download like the bootleg episodes off of like the streaming service, the one where the dragon got killed.
Were you on Pirate Bay, man? Like download?
Yeah, like that when the dragon got killed up beyond the wall. I saw that episode like 5 weeks before it came out.
Oh wait, when the dragon got by the big giant arrow, that's the one.
Yeah, I saw that one like 5 weeks before it came out. Like but I'm also I go the opposite way. Like I still have not seen the end of Better Call Saul. Yeah. Spoiler. He becomes a lawyer for a drug dealer. I got it. It's a prequel.
Well, it's a prequel.
But I haven't seen that whole last season. Right?
I see. Okay, gotcha.
I don't want to read anything about it. I don't want to know it. And I realize how far behind I am. But when it comes out on Netflix, I will watch the whole season, and then I'll be on my merry way.
Gotcha.
You and I were both spoiled, unfortunately, by our friend Bonnie Jones with the Succession.
Succession, right?
Well,
okay, so all right, I'm glad you brought that up. I am not necessarily bothered by spoilers because for a variety of reasons. When it comes to complicated shows like Game of Thrones, sometimes I actually found it helpful to read a recap ahead of watching an episode, so I had a better idea of what was going on. Like the AV Club back. Oh yeah, like AV Club. And what is it? I think it's Jason Concepcion for The Ringer.
Yeah.
They would do the Maesters, whatever, right? And because they read the books, they had a better understanding of contextualizing what they were condensing into an hour. So I actually had a greater appreciation for what was unfolding by reading the recaps. And I had a better okay, I can connect these dots a little bit more rather than being confused. I'm like, wait, who is that person again? Why are they mad at that person? What's Littlefinger doing here? Chaos is a ladder, right? It's like all these things. So like the Succession part too, like finding out that Logan Roy dies, that didn't necessarily bother me either because I'm watching Succession for the acting. Okay. Like the characters on that show are acting their ass off, man. That's why I watch. That's why I watch the show. So, and they get into corporate legalese that I can't keep up with. So if I read a spoiler, I have a better understanding of like why this person's angling against this person, and everything else. But what I think is hilarious are the schedule truthers, or like there's a new Zelda game coming out tomorrow and people want to go in completely cold and then get mad at other people for doing reviews or discussing it or whatever. Like if you truly want to go into something cold, I can't help you. You
Right.
have to just log
You
the
have to be the
hell
one.
off. You got to
Yeah.
log off. You go outside and you touch grass, because we're out here discussing on the internet. We can't protect you.